Well, look at this. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
How you doing?
It's Lee here.
Al?
And Troy.
Yes, we're up here talking to you from the mountains.
Ah, yes. Beautiful fireplace in the background. Don't you gotta love that?
Yeah. And of course, we've got the beautiful sun out here. You can see the top of the mountain. And we thought we would shoot a video today talking to you because it's very rare that you actually get to see this kind of energy all in one place at the same time.
Yeah.
Masculine energy that is able to be emotionally available. And what we were talking about, I think yesterday we got to a discussion. We're like, it would be amazing to do something where we could actually put this out there where everybody could see it.
Yeah.
Because the conversation, of course, comes into how do you share or expose yourself or become transparent to feminine energy. So yesterday we traveled out and we decided that we were going to do some things for the girls, and we decided to go out and find some vanity mirrors.
Yeah. Lit vanity.
3 males
walking
into beauty shops, which we were told that's where we would find them.
Yes.
And they weren't there.
No.
And we ended
Several beauty shops.
Several. And of course, every time you walk in there, and of course, they needed some ribbon, right?
Yeah.
We needed to walk into
Multiple colors of ribbon.
Yes, we had to walk into a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby or whatever.
Michael's, yeah.
Michael's,
Yeah.
and of course, 3 of us walking in to get ribbon.
Nothing uncomfortable there at all.
No. We were finding our feminine energy.
Quite.
I'll drink to that.
I hope there's whiskey in there.
Bartender.
So, what really I think we really came to as far as what we were talking about is being able to express your emotions and being able to feel comfortable in what you experience as a man, trying to share your emotions, because most of the time we just lock up, and we were talking about that yesterday.
Right.
How you literally can just let go. And you were bringing up some things. I think we talked a little bit about our past.
Yeah.
And the things
Right.
that we used to experience. And
Yeah.
I think for me it was a lot of, not realizing I knew how to express my emotions. Whether it been that I had to watch how my mother showed me to do it or my father showed me how to do it, but not really having a foundation.
Right.
So, being told by your parent, oh, no, men are supposed to be this way, or those kinds of things. You go with the beliefs, then you go with the actions that support it.
Yeah.
And then trying to break free of that, I think, we all 3 found our own path to do it on our own.
Right.
So it is you definitely are capable of doing it. For the
That's
men
a
that are
journey
watching
in
this.
itself.
Yeah, it
Oh,
is.
it really is. Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
What were your guys' thoughts?
Well, and one of the things, of course, that we went through yesterday, Sandra and I, with Lee and Troy and Michelle and Sherry, we had a binding ceremony, and there was
Congratulations.
Oh,
Yes,
thank you, by the way.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Remarried.
But and one of the things that happened almost immediately yesterday was I was just so overcome with emotion. I mean, not only with the ceremony, but with the love that was in the room. There was a day, like you were talking about, the old belief systems, the stereotypical male, and I was just overcome. I was crying, and an old part of me wanted to stuff that. And there was still part of that belief system that wanted me to stuff it, but it wasn't anywhere close to the amount of being able to let go and just be you. Forget about the old male stereotypes and just let it go.
Be in that moment.
Right, exactly. And just go with it. And we had a situation, with a fella last night.
Yeah.
Who is still hanging on to that, and if you don't think that there is any better contrast than what you feel and then seeing exactly what you work so hard to get away from.
Yes.
Very beautiful affirmation to me, guys.
Great mirror imaging of what's going on.
How about you? What did you experience?
I think just from looking from the outside in, like watching Alan go through that particular process. You know, me personally, never been married in that aspect, but going to what society said, the traditional do's and don'ts.
Right.
But watching a man in that moment go from
Just, right.
and letting it go,
Yeah.
and letting the, like you said, the stereotypes, the ego, and just be in that moment.
Right.
And I realized
Yeah.
when once you went into that moment, I think it shifted everybody else,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because everybody could feel that you were there. But as soon as you let go,
Yeah.
everybody else let go, and it seemed like everything was able to flow from that perspective. Most men, we don't do that.
No.
We get to that moment, we pull up,
Got a man up.
man up,
Yeah.
Ah,
Be a man about it.
yes.
You don't cry.
Yeah. But I think
Wow.
that made the moment even more than what it was or what it needed to be,
Yeah.
because you did let it go. You allowed this in,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
most men don't do,
Right.
Yeah.
and especially for another male to let in, like, I'm feeling emotional right now,
Yeah.
and I'm allowed you to see that without being judged.
Yep. And
Yeah.
I would say that's probably the key that we were talking about yesterday.
Right.
It's the judgment.
Yeah.
The judgment is what stops you from doing it. It's
Yes.
not even that you were told.
Mm-hmm.
Inside of the belief system, you have the power of the judgment. And then you go, yeah, this judgment, yeah, what the hell? And it puts on that force field.
Right.
And it puts
Right.
in the thought process, which is
Yeah.
your ego, trying to tell you, yeah, don't do that. Don't let that be exposed.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if you're exposed that way, you don't look like you're a man.
You're vulnerable.
You're vulnerable.
You're vulnerable.
Yes.
Transparency gets thrown out the window.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
next thing you know, the love that you're saying that you feel becomes stagnant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
very true.
it's almost
Like
like you gotta.
you put a cap on it right then and there.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't be exposed.
Mm-hmm.
So where does your love go? Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But it was what I thought was completely incredible yesterday was after you had released it and everybody's masculine and feminine energy combined,
Yeah.
this whole cabin got warm.
Oh,
Yes.
it heated.
And it was
up.
almost like if you don't pay attention to the energy itself until it's actually present, and then everybody's like, "Ooh, it's warm in here.
Yeah.
It's hot."
Yeah, everybody was doing that.
And it was like, it's been cold in here. It's had a little bit of a draft,
Yeah.
but it almost like instantly went away.
Yeah,
And
good.
the fact that, I mean, as you guys see, there's just a fireplace that's going on. We're here in the cabin, and it was at least a 20-degree difference.
Yeah.
Instant.
Yeah.
Love flooded the entire cabin.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to say it.
Yeah.
Love flooded the entire cabin because I think with that kind of energy, when everybody feels it and they're all sharing in it, it sustains us.
Yeah.
And then as a man, you don't ever look at it that way.
No.
But we experienced it. And
We sure did.
we captured it in such a way, we did video it. So
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
good thing is that's going to be out there, so that video will be out as well. But we really, when we were talking about it, we were like, there's not enough messages from
The male
united men
Right.
talking about this very thing.
Yes.
And a lot of guys, and a lot of guys here again going back to the judgment thing, they don't want to be the first one to get out there and do that.
No.
They don't want to expose themselves, have the transparency, and
With one another. Even.
exactly.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because us three, we've done it. We've been
Yeah.
bonding.
Yeah.
And we're telling you, it's an amazing thing to start talking about it because I'm not going to talk to my friend about this and that. You don't talk to a certain friend about certain things because you yourself are creating the energy not to talk about it.
Right.
It's not the other.
You're already creating the judgment within yourself.
Right.
Because last night when the gentleman you were talking about,
Yeah.
he was and he kept avoiding, but I kept going, no, talk from your emotion, talk from your feelings, talk from where you're at.
Right.
And as he started to kind of go down that path, and he started telling me some things that happened to him.
It
And he looked
basically
over
looked-
it. He looked over at me
yeah.
and saw me crying
Yeah.
for what he went through. And it hit him
Blew
right
him
in his
away.
heart. Hit
It looked like it was physically
Yeah,
hurting
what?
him.
Yeah.
It looked like
well,
it was physically.
he was doing what Alan said. He was doing the whole fight.
Yeah.
The whole fight was going on inside of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, he shows up today, and you can see that he's lighter because he knows that something.
I felt that too.
He's
He did.
Yeah.
much lighter.
Later.
Yeah.
He seemed
Much
much,
lighter.
just more in his presence.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't feel like he had to fit in and everything. He just feels like, wow. And he's kind of he seemed really relaxed.
He really did. Yeah. It was a much lighter feel today than yesterday. Yesterday you could tell he was kind of hesitant.
Yeah.
I mean, he had the guts to come in here with a room full of people. He had no idea who they were.
Right.
But by the same token, then he was just like, okay, well, I got to know what's going on, but how do I do,
But then he flowed.
Yeah.
Then today?
You walked into this energy yesterday. And
Yeah.
You walk in today and it's still there.
Yeah.
I mean, you can really feel the energy that, this is nothing that is closed off. Being completely open is a very hard thing to do.
And he even
Yes.
said it a little while ago too, guys. I don't know if you caught it or not, but he said, "I love coming up here to this
Yes.
cabin because it's like a
Vacation.
vacation every time I come
And
up."
he lives right there.
Yeah, yeah. You can grab a baseball and hit him in the head from there where he lives.
Right.
Yeah. So how odd is that? And I also think it's really odd where men can't. And I kind of wanted to bring this up for you guys. Can't do the love thing, can't do the vulnerability thing as far as showing it, but man, we're all over the anger.
Oh, my God.
I mean, angry, everybody knows it. Huh?
Well, let's talk about what we were talking about before, because we can give them the definition of why they're angry. If you keep resisting your emotional side on the inside, there's an internal fight that automatically sparks your anger.
Right,
Because you're resisting what is.
right,
You're resisting what you're feeling. That resistance is your anger.
yeah,
You go into that resistance and you just let go. I mean, what's the point? You're making yourself sick.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Keeping it inside, you make yourself sick.
Disease, dis-ease within.
I like that.
That's good.
That was good. Say it one more time.
Yeah.
Disease, dis-ease within.
Well,
That's a keeper.
that is.
I think that's a keeper.
Yeah.
Where all sorts of diseases come from.
Yeah.
From internal. Most of the time, it's connected to some kind of emotional trauma, mental trauma, something like that, where your energy cannot fully flow. So there's a dis-ease within the body, i.e. disease.
Right. And I think that has a lot to do with keeping stuff inside.
Yeah,
The internal fight.
right.
Walking around angry. Walking around stressed. Stress is the number one killer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let me
Oh, yeah.
ask you gentlemen this. With that, talk about, because, as men, we're taught to keep it inside and everything.
Right.
And disease, is that one of the big reasons why men have a shorter lifespan than women?
I would say it has a lot to do with it.
I would too.
I would say that.
Keeping that internal, all those emotions built, and, locked in inside, and never releasing those
Right.
things and not being in the moment.
I met a man a few years ago. His name is irrelevant, but he's American Indian and half black, and he was in his 80s. I think he was like 85, 86 years old.
Yeah.
He looked 40.
Really?
He looked and moved and acted like he was 40. And then when he told me his age, I looked at him and said, no. And he said, no, here, show me his ID. And I went, holy crap. And he said, well, I just got back from Italy and you've gone over to the islands of Sardinia and was talking about how beautiful it was and said, how often are you staying in your peace?
Yeah.
And I said, well, I mean, I've worked retail. I mean, I'm doing
Oh,
all
wow.
the stuff that I'm doing. And
Yeah.
that's not my question. My question was directly to you. And he pointed at my chest and pointed at me and said, how often are you in your peace?
Yeah.
And I didn't get it, right? I mean, I got what he was saying, but I didn't realize that what it was doing by not going into my peace was aging me.
Yeah.
Not being transparent. I mean, and he even had a little tear when he said, you need to go to your peace.
Wow.
And he disappeared. I mean, this is a guy that just came out of nowhere
Yeah.
and said that to me. And then it was one of the most profound things I'd ever experienced.
Yeah.
But he was right.
Yeah.
If you don't stay in your peace, well, you're dying already. But
Yeah.
Jesus, you talk about just jumping on the plane to go faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, without a parachute,
Yeah.
you're running out of gas at about 50,000 feet.
Jump!
And you've got no place to go. That's what stress does. That's what I think anger does. I think all of the emotions that we've seen that come across that we don't go into to really resolve within ourselves show up in our daily lives.
Absolutely.
They
Absolutely.
show up in our daily lives.
And that mirrors into people you deal with too.
Yes.
Ah.
You know, because how many
good
times
point.
have we all like gotten up in a great mood, had a good dream, or we knew that we were looking forward to something great that day, and you head out the door, you're doing the proverbial whistle and a happy little tune thing, and how many people do you see then that day that are acting just the way you are?
Yep.
and they're greeting you in that way, and they're reacting to you in that way. And conversely, whenever you wake up thinking, oh, it's going to be a crap day, I've got this coming up, I'm stressed, and how often do you go out snarling and people react to you in kind?
You created the scene
Exactly.
for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like the way I look at it, we are all characters in each one of our movies. Us two are characters in your movie, vice
Right.
versa.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
that morning, if you set the scene for you, as you say, to be at peace, that's the movie that you want to see that day.
Yeah.
Your interaction with people as peace.
And that's what you're
And
gonna
that's exactly what you're gonna put out is what the universe and that scene that you said already in your mind is gonna give back to you.
And it seems so simple, and you see it, but nobody ever, or very few, put it together.
Right.
It's like, I'm in a crappy mood. Why is everybody in a crappy mood? I'm in a good mood. Why is everybody in a good mood?
Yep.
And it's right there.
And you think, oh, everybody just loves me today.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's just being the way they are today. You're
Yeah.
not realizing that the energy you've been giving to yourself now is showing up in the way that you interact
In
with
them.
other people.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the people that you find that are emotionally available experience that more than the people who are not.
Right. Yeah. Very
Yes.
good point. Very true.
So, what are you doing with your emotion as a man, or even as a woman? I think even as
Because when
Yeah.
you're
We
in the
found
masculine energy,
we were all three just glowing. You
Yeah.
know, we were happy to go out and do the things we were doing. We
Yeah.
we got to get a vanity mirror and ribbon.
Ha 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 ha.
Right, and what was funny is we took about as long as they do.
I know.
running around everywhere.
I'm just saying. That's
We
it.
were in the feminine in every way.
Every
weren't
way.
we?
Oh my God! It was like, we've set out. We're men. We want to walk in and walk out.
Get
We
our
talk
stuff.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to be in there for 10 minutes tops,
Yeah.
and then walk back out.
Yeah.
And we were, walking around, and it was like a 2-hour shopping trip.
We were
We thought-
shopping.
shopping.
We weren't going to get stuff. We were actually shopping.
Shopping.
We don't do that.
Right. Well, we was looking. I don't think this is gonna be big enough for what they want to do. And just like we were like having a conversation. Like, people walking past us going, "What the hell?" And it was
Why
like,
are you here?
right.
Oh, the
But-
looks were great.
Oh.
But the looks were interesting because
Yeah.
when feminine energy sees masculine energy in its feminine energy comfortably, they're attracted
Yes.
to it. They're like,
And they don't know why.
they don't know.
No,
They have no idea why.
They see it. They're like, why do they look so
It's like
comfortable?
Yeah, it's like Bambi looking at you like.
Right. And not Bambi at the strip club where the women are. That's,
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that a fire?
Ooh,
That's a fire.
that's warm.
That's a
Yeah.
fire.
There's
Yeah.
a singles in there.
Hold on. Okay.
We made a little bit of rain up in here.
Hello.
Woo. Okay, that's fine.
Well, I would say that probably the most wonderful thing has been hanging out with you guys this week.
Oh yeah.
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 For sure.
We do a lot, and we want to make sure that we're still all keeping everybody in healing. Your soul family, And Trevor. We're
Oh,
out
yeah.
for you, man. We're out there
Man.
for you. We're going to give you a little
Yes.
gang sign.
Yeah. I got my hands full.
Yeah, but that was from him too. Yeah, there it
Yes.
is.
There it is.
We really have to go in and see, are we being transparent? I think, you said to us, Sam and I really found out that we weren't really trying to be as transparent as we probably should be.
Yeah.
And that's part of the emotional energy and the thought processes that go behind it.
Yeah.
Because as men, we want to provide. As men, we want to take care. As men, we want to protect.
Yeah.
But we missed, as men, how to love because of not being transparent and how to be emotionally available. And we work on it every day.
Yeah, and one of the things that you told me a long time ago, because we have discussed this before, the masculine thing, and I know that we were going through something at one point, and you're like, well, did you let her see that, your discomfort or your anguish or whatever? And I was just like, well, no, I didn't.
You see his whole
And-
body language change?
Yeah, just like.
You saw the fight.
You
No,
saw it
you
because
saw the
he
fight.
was supposed to relax. Next thing it was very defensive.
But what you told me then after that made a lot of sense. You said something to the effect like, how much more is she going to realize that you trust her to love you if you don't?
Yeah.
You know, and how much further is that going to progress your connection?
Yep.
And I was like, I'd never thought of that. But letting her in to show that vulnerability to say, yeah, you're hurting, or uncomfortable, or whatever, and then having that feeling of love magnified because of that trust, and that ability to let somebody else in, it's okay.
Would you say that energy is why twins and soulmates come into problems? Because one, the feminine energy is going to see and expect the more of the providing, more of the worry, more of the, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
what ends up happening is if they're in separation,
Right.
because one won't be transparent and one won't be vulnerable,
Right.
which is usually the masculine energy.
Yeah.
The masculine energy could also be infected in the feminine,
Yeah. Yeah.
setting up the
The
expectation
Yeah.
that this is what it is, and men run from that. We're like, no, my masculine has a no. And
My masculine's got to be more dominant than your
right,
masculine.
right. You cannot take over this, and then, well, I want somebody I can protect, somebody I can provide for, somebody I can take care of, somebody I can fix.
Yeah.
Because when you can fix them, that's where we actually provide our emotional energy.
Yeah.
Not realizing that if we haven't done that for ourselves, we're doing a poor job of it.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. If you can't do it for yourself.
If you can't
Yeah.
stand on your own 2 feet, how can you stand on somebody else's?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's very, very hard as a man to stand in front of the one that you know you're connected to and be transparent. It's very difficult.
It's a scary thing to do.
Yeah.
It
But
really
you're
is.
not realizing that it's only going to bring you closer.
Yeah.
Your biggest thing is your ego, your thinking telling you they're going to run.
Right. Got to get that belief, get the old beliefs out.
Yep. Well, that and realizing that if you don't run from you, neither will they.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to come to that
And
conclusion.
we're going back to the waking up to either a good day or a bad day. It's going to be reflected back to you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. The way that if you tie that and connect that to that.
Yeah.
That is exactly what that is.
Yeah.
So, we hope this was something that really gave you guys something to embrace. It's really, you got 3 very beautiful men here speaking from a place of emotion and what it means to just finally let go. We're not perfect.
No.
We've all been taught.
We've all discussed that.
Yeah, we've all been generationally raised under the conditions of not being emotionally available, but it doesn't mean we don't want to be.
Right.
It's our own prison. It's not a prison you can break us out of. You just have to be patient enough or create enough space for us to give you that.
Yeah.
Does that
Very
sound
well,
about right?
Very
Yeah.
well put. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well put.
So we hope you guys got a lot out of this. We love you all. Again, Lee, Relationship Reinvented.
Trevor, miss you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Trevor.
Don't want to forget Trevor.
Yes. Well, Trevor was here. You can
Okay,
feel it.
well, yeah.
Yeah,
It
Trevor-
was getting heated up.
Yeah.
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 You feel that too.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. If it's not Michael or if it's not Metatron.
Meta,
or
or- yeah.
Or it's just Trevor.
It's just Trevor.
Yeah. It could just be.
It could be.
Could we also give a shout out to Chris?
Yes,
Chris.
Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Chris and
Shout out
mine.
to Chris.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Definitely. Anybody else?
Oh,
Patricia McNeely.
oh yeah.
All of them.
Forget
I hope
Patricia.
that
Yeah.
everybody got something out of this because this was very, very powerful. We knew it. Being up here, 8,100 feet,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
you really find a way to be in your inner self or higher self. Higher, 8,100 feet.
Yeah, there we go.
That's
So,
why it's called Mile High
uh,
City.
Yeah, it gave us an opportunity to speak to you, to really tell you that, don't worry, we're coming. This change, this evolution has to happen one man at a time.
Yeah.
And hopefully it becomes contagious just as it did the other way.
Hopefully. It will.
It will.
It will.
Will it?
Yes. Yes.
Will it?
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Nice.
Yeah. Well, we're going to will this. So hopefully.
Because it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it really.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I had to slap you.
Yeah, you did.
That was good. That was really
I had
good.
to. It was in my pocket.
Yeah. What else you got in your pocket? Okay. All right. We love you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Love you.
Peace.